All right, so we know that The Witcher Season 4 will feature a new actor playing the role of Geralt of Rivia, the titular Witcher from the series. Henry Cavill left the show. He never gave a specific reason why. Nobody has actually officially said why. But it seems pretty obvious that he was clashing with Lauren Hirschritz, or however you say her name, and the other writers and producers on the show about the direction of the show, which obviously had been going downhill since season one. Now, season one, I felt like was a good enough adaptation of the original source material. It was not a perfect season, but it got the vibe right. I thought it did a pretty good job with each of the characters, introducing the different characters: Yennefer, Ciri, Geralt himself, etc., etc. Some of the side characters, the Bard, Jaskier. It did a good enough job. It wasn't perfect, but I really enjoyed it, and I thought to myself at the time, this will get better as Netflix gives it more budget, as the writers and producers and directors and costume designers and everyone gets a foothold, learns some things from the first season, and then comes back with an awesome second season. Unfortunately, the second season was a big disappointment. It really was a turn for the worse. It had a bigger budget. You could tell the budget was there. Geralt had a better wig. The budget was there, but the story itself veered in all sorts of weird directions. And by the end, I was just a little confused. Like, what happened there? This was just not nearly as satisfying. And then the third season was kind of a bad joke. Like, instead of learning from their mistakes in the first two seasons, they doubled down on each of those mistakes and gave us really some of the most atrocious episodes, especially the dinner party where they kept restarting and showing us different angles of what was happening. That's an interesting technique, storytelling technique, a little non-linear technique to show us different angles of the same event and like reveal things that were happening that we didn't realize at first. But they kept on replaying large chunks of the episode that they'd already shown us. It was one of the worst edited episodes I've ever seen. But there's so many other problems. I won't go into all of them. Problems with the characters, problems with the story, problems with not sticking to the source material in ways that just don't make sense. And anyways, Cavill left, and Liam Hemsworth was cast to replace him as Geralt, not as a new Witcher, but as Geralt of Rivia, which I think is a very strange choice. And I feel really bad for the guy. I mean, he has this is a cool gig in a lot of ways. If you were cast as Geralt of Rivia first, that would be a really cool gig. But to fill Cavill's shoes is a tall order and a tough one, and I think a lot of people are going to just hate on Hemsworth, even though it's not his fault that the show sucks. It's not his fault that he's been recast. I mean, man's got to work. Man's got to put bread on the table. A gig's a gig, and but I feel bad for him. Anyways, it's been, we finally have some images of Cavill, not to keep beating around the bush forever. We finally have some, not Cavill, of Hemsworth in this role. They are a little blurry, as you can see here. We've been looking at this one for a little while. He's got the wig. He's got the same black shirt that we see Geralt in the first few seasons. And then we got some other images. This is from Redanian Intelligence, which is the big sort of fan site for The Witcher. Often posts like set photos and leaks and other things. And of course they do other shows, obviously, House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings, but it's really, this site was started for The Witcher. So obviously Redania being a kingdom of the north. All right, so we have here Geralt and Vilgefortz, and we saw this fight already happen between Cavill's Geralt and Vilgefortz at the end of season 3. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here. Are they recreating this? Is this another fight between these two characters somehow? I don't know. Here's that top image, but more of it. Got some boots going. I mean, he looks fine. It's not very clear, but he looks like Geralt. Oh, getting knocked on his butt by Vilgefortz. Okay, now we have him in some armor, which is very recognizable as armor that Cavill also wore in the show. Again, looking very Geralt-like. He looks fine. It's just weird, right? It's weird to recast the main character 3 seasons in. It's going to be so jarring. And just a bunch more here. Doing a little dance. Another little, this looks like a Fortnite dance about to happen. Then we got Yennefer on Yishalatra, who I love as Yennefer. I think she does a great job, but I think they've absolutely butchered her character, unfortunately. I think she's beautiful. There was one of the like casting directors talked about how they were challenging beauty standards by casting her, and all I could think of is, what are you talking about? In what beauty standard does she not fit? But I guess it's because she's not white, which to me it's so weird when people are trying to be like challenge racism, but they say things that are just bizarrely racist. I'm sorry, but whiteness is not a beauty standard. It's just the color of your skin. You can be beautiful regardless of your skin color. Oh, back to the armor. Yeah, I mean, he's got the physique. He's got the, he looks fine. It's just, it's going to be, I think he's there with his stunt double. It's going to be just so hard to match. I mean, I don't know. How's he going to approach the character? Is he going to try to do the same kind of voice that Cavill did? The same expressions? I mean, obviously, Cavill was drawing a lot on the video game character for his, I mean, the show itself draws a lot on the video game. We talk about how it's an adaptation of the books, but it's very much also drawing on the music and the aesthetic of the video game. Yeah, no, I mean, I think he looks fine. It's hard for me to really get enthusiastic about this show anymore, which is really sad. I guess we do have an animated version with the original voice actor for Geralt. Not a version, but a animated movie coming out. I still think that this show, as much as I liked Cavill, I really kind of wish that they had just made an animated version from the beginning, similar to like Castlevania or these other animated video game adaptations, which are often pretty good, and just gotten the voice actors from the games, who are all fantastic actors. I mean, I like what Cavill did with it. I like the other actors cast in the show, but the writing has been so bad, and a lot of the problems with the earlier, like with season 1, are special effects, costumes, things looking cheap, the show just looking cheap, feeling cheap, and I don't know. I think it could have just been a lot better if they had just made an animated series. Maybe that's what we'll get. I say this about everything, though. I want, some of my dream series would be like, let's go back and start over with The Walking Dead as an animated series with a style that sort of emulates the comic book. I think that would be really cool. My dream project would be to get the rights to Lord of the Rings and make like a 3-season animated Lord of the Rings that followed the books really, really, really closely, to the point where it was almost obnoxiously close. I just think that would be a beautiful thing, and you can do so much with animation, especially in the fantasy genre, that you can't do with live action at such a fraction of the budget. Everything they try to do in live action with special effects, CGI, magic is extremely expensive and time consuming. You can just do some cool hand-drawn looking animation. I mean, and this is one reason that I love the Vox Machina on Amazon, which is the Critical Role TV series, animated TV series. They can just do so much more with the fight scenes, with the magic, and it's, at a fraction of the cost. And then they can focus on the writing and the acting, voice acting and whatever. But and just make such great fantasy. And something like Arcane, what is a wonderful example of animated series that just really does everything so well, with such strong writing and performances. And if they tried to make that live action, it would just be I think it would be so much worse. And it's not that I don't like live action fantasy. I think there's some really great stuff out there, but I really would like to see more animated stuff. And then if you have to recast an actor, it's not quite as big of a deal. Obviously, voice actor changes, which we've seen like with Justin Roiland and stuff. That is difficult, but not as difficult. So in any case, season 4, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to make videos about it. I'm going to write reviews of it. I am hoping, I always say this, I'm hoping that it will be good. Yes, there's this sort of, the demon on my shoulder is always like, I hope it's bad because it's fun to talk shit, right? Like, obviously, I think it's anybody who's watched my videos or read my work knows that I like talking shit. I like to, I have a lot of fun with shows like Night Country or or Rings of Power because they're bad and that's fun. But I genuinely prefer to watch good TV. It's a better use of my time. So I would love to see this show get better. I would love to see Rings of Power get better. I will say that I think that Wheel of Time season 2 was a marked improvement over season 1. I just got to it so late because season 1 was such a letdown. I didn't watch season 2 until it had been out for like a year. Then I was like, oh, this is definitely better, but it's still so much worse than it ought to be, you know? And this is another reason why I think Fallout was really great, and a lot of people disagree with me, and I respect that. But I think Fallout was done with a lot of quality, great acting, solid writing. Yeah, there were plot holes. Yeah, there was stuff that doesn't fit the lore, but it was entertaining, and it fit the vibe very well. And I just, if shows like Rings of Power, if shows like The Witcher, Wheel of Time just had that level of quality, I think we'd all be a lot less upset about all of it. So, pretty blurry, pretty hard to see, but yeah, he looks the part. I mean, I guess, you just have to be in shape and have a Targaryen wig on and you pretty much look the part. I am very curious to see the first trailer for this. I want to hear how he sounds. That's the big thing. Yeah. So, anyways. All right, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of The Witcher, Liam Hemsworth. Do you feel as bad for the guy as I do? I mean, which I feel half bad for him. The other half of me is like, dude's getting paid a bunch of money to be in a cool fantasy show. It can't be that bad. Take some heat from fans, whatever. Could be worse. As long as he's cool about it. If he handles it right, then he'll be fine. All right. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.